Yeah, I think at least the guys and the names I talked a little bit about last night that are ready, and that's pretty impressive in my opinion, because you're almost talking this entire freshman class. But I think the four that are really close. Trevor Downing has had a phenomenal fall. He is light years ahead of any freshman offensive lineman that I've ever had the opportunity to coach. I think he's really close to helping our football team. Joey Ramos, has come in and done a really good job. Unlike Trevor, he didn't get spring practice, so I thought his progression has been really impressive. Real, dynamic, athletic, can do a lot of different things for us, and I think certainly his progression has been really fun to watch. And so I think those three, and then Chandler Palvermacher, another linebacker that's done a really good job. Gary Vaughn's still got a little bit of playing. He played in the first 3 games for us at linebacker and some special team stuff. So, we still got some guys that continue to develop, and excited to see some of these guys. Yeah, no, I think it's been really big, and I think that's what has made this team really unique in its own right. A team that I think, to be honest with you, hopefully giving them the ability to handle, I said this after the game, this is, it's almost a new set of adversity, because now everybody wants to jump on the train, and everybody wants to tell you, and it's all fluff, right? It's all fluff until the end of the season, where you kind of lay it all out and say, what are we really? Did we accomplish what we had the ability to be? And I think that this group gets it, because having that start at 1-3, where everybody wants to tell you how not good you really are, and yet in our walls we knew how close we really were. It has to have great leadership and player ownership. As a coach, you can get up and say everything you want, but the players have to believe it and buy into it, and then they have to teach and continue to empower those young guys around them. And I think that's what's really unique about our team right now. We're still so young in so many ways, and you look at our team, who's playing for us. I mean, you're talking about a lot of guys that are naive to really where we're at and what's going on, but yet it's those veterans that have been through a lot in this program, or individually, that are kind of leading the way and teaching them how to guide through it. So I really appreciate that. But I think that first part of the season certainly was a great asset of tools of how to handle adversity, because I think you're almost swinging into that version of it just a different way right now. Yeah, I think that group's playing its best football since I've been here over the last 3 to 4 weeks, and it's they're gritty. There's been a lot of growth, in my opinion. What Bryce Meeker's doing right now, certainly what Kniffel has done over the last 2 years. He's been the same player every day for us, and I think he's really, really talented. Colin Newell, I mean, I don't know if there's a bigger story of a young guy that's coming in and asking to play center in this conference against the nose tackles that we've had to go against, and certainly the interior linemen that we played against, in his growth from where he was in really week 2 to where he is right now for us. And then Good Jones adapting to left tackle, and then certainly Colin Wilson's been a great story. But I think that group has really grown immensely, and you can't have success this time of year if that group isn't competing to play at a really high level. And I think we're a lot closer to where we want to be there than we've ever been. Well, I think again that goes back to what makes Brian really special. I think we get lost in the size, speed, all the things that really matter maybe a little bit, but not really. What really matters is great players have that ability to be a great player because they're here studying the game, because they sacrifice everything to be the best version of themselves they can be. And Brian is a definition of that. He's here all the time. He's here all summer long. He's a guy that you can't get out of this facility, because his passion to be the best version of himself is really high. And I think that's what's allowed Brian to be a great player, because I think everybody said, well, you're too short, you're too this, you're too that. And I think he said, well, where in those other areas can I maximize my full potential to be really special? And Brian's done that in terms of being a great student of the game. He's in great physical condition. He's a guy that does all those things that everybody's not willing to do to make himself elite. And I think that's what Brian's done to be a great player. So I think it's a great point, but I think he does all those little things in the margin to be really, really special. I think Akeem is, you even talk consistency from the start of the season to where we're at today. I think that's certainly grown. And I think that's something that we'll be able to sit at the end of this season and say, man, did you become that player you can become on every rep? you know, by the end of the season. But I think he's certainly growing closer to that even through the season. He's improved, and that's one thing I'm really excited about, because I think there's still another level or two that he can get to in terms of, you know, some of the detail of playing the wide receiver position that he would even sit and tell you that I can only continue to get better at. But yeah, I think it's a really good question, and I think you'll only see him get better because he does have that passion to be really, really special. And you know, I haven't seen him settle and just feel like, you know what, I'm really good and I'm going to settle there. I think he's just continued to grind away at it, and I do appreciate that about him. Yeah, well, you know, again, I think for them, and this is a typical of Coach Rule, is their ability to not put themselves in, you know, tough third down situations. Their situation of, you know, ability to run the football, ability to get the ball out of their quarterback's hands on first and second down, so they're playing in manageable third down situations, has really allowed them to have that success on third down. So, you know, I think for us, it still goes back to, especially a team like this that's so skilled and so talented in its skill positions, you gotta be able to tackle in space, you gotta be able to put and play ahead of situations in situational football. So I think a really good challenge for our defense, and again, it's that skill that we're going to have to do a great job of making sure we win spatial areas. Yeah, you know, I agree with you. I think that certainly it's an area for him that he's got just, I think you either got it or you don't, you know, and it's something that he just has. And I think one of the other things that makes it effective is his ability on the run to throw the football. And you know, I think if you've seen even over the last couple games, you know, where, you know, he scrambles out and is able to make a play down the field. So I think that pump fake is real because he is going to move and he's got the ability to deliver the football, whether it's in the screen game, whether it's in the vertical passing game. He's got the ability not only to run, and he's not just running, he's running to throw it, instead of always running it to run it, and I think that's where that effectiveness really takes hold. So I agree with you, he certainly can create some space with that, but I think it's his ability to throw the ball and to move so well that has really allowed that to be a major factor. Yeah, you know, the NFL is such a different game than our game, and so I think, again, perception outside of our walls from everybody's aspect of it is like, gosh, you're a good player, you're going to the NFL. Well, the NFL doesn't care if you're a good player. They care about numbers, they care about height, they care about weight. They have different measurables than maybe what we measure. And so I think that, you know, as our program continues to get better and we continue to play positively, we have good football players here that will continue to play at that level and understand what that level looks like and feels like. So I think the reality of it is he's controlling everything he can control to help himself at the next level. Because really good pro teams, they still understand that all the things we talk about, attitude, effort, investment, you're getting the most bang for your buck at that level. And so I think what Brian's doing is he's understanding that he can control what he can control. He can't control it, he's, you know, whatever his size is, but he can control the consistency of his play. He can control the ability to get better in the margins. And so when his opportunity comes at that level, you know, he's going to have opportunity to take advantage of it, no matter how it comes. And so I think that that's the one thing, Tommy, it's a good question, but it's really hard, you know, to sit here and say, well, geez, he's improved his stock so much, because we don't know. None of us know, you know. And, you know, I think we learned that lesson last year in Allen's situation. You know, Allen, phenomenal football player. For whatever reason, measurable-wise, that didn't fit at that level. You know, so I think we learn and we grow in that process. But, you know, I think what Brian understands, team before anything else, be the best team that I can be, captain on this football team, and he's been borderline phenomenal in terms of every aspect of that. Well, you know, we all see Matt. You know, Matt looks like, you know, shoot, he looks like a Greek god. You know, he's kind of, he looks the part of what it looks like. And, you know, one of my favorite pieces of Matt, even through our recruiting process of Matt, was there was a humility there. You know, you see these guys, and I think sometimes it's like, geez, the ego is I'm so ready. Well, Matt, even through the recruiting process, you know, was humble enough to say, hey, listen, I've only been in the United States now 2 years. There's a lot of growth for me. I understand that there's a possibility that I would redshirt. Like, there's not a lot of junior college players that are going to have that humility to say that. And so, you know, what I've always appreciated about Matt is there was an end goal in mind, but he knew it wasn't a straight line to get there. He knew there was going to be you know, a little bit of bump in the road and a little bit of sacrifice to get there. And what more sacrifice could you have to give up everything at home, leave Australia, and go to a junior college and have no idea what's going to happen? And so, I think Matt's got a little bit of that in him, and he's been willing to just hang in that process since he's been here with us of, come to work every day. Coach, I know the plan, we're not going to play you last year, we're going to redshirt you, but you got to be ready. So you got to keep getting better. And he's a guy that would stay after practice last fall, with some of our coaches, continue to work, did a great job in the weight room. And now as the season started, I think he's another guy too. You've seen him get better every single game. And, when his opportunity started, he's certainly taken advantage of it. But I think it comes all back to that humility that he has inside of him that, it's never been an arrogant factor. He knew that he had a lot of work to do and he wanted to do the work. So I really do appreciate that.